Somewhere below 1,000 meters, in water that sunlight has never reached, a colossal squid is losing a fight. This is an animal with rotating hooks on its arms and eyes the size of dinner plates, and it is one of the strangest predators ever to evolve. But something found it in total darkness, in an ocean the size of a continent, without ever seeing it. And that something has 20 minutes to get back to the surface, or it drowns. The deadliest hunter in the deep ocean is a mammal that breathes air. The sperm whale is the largest toothed predator alive on this planet. That is a specific claim, so it is worth being precise about what it means. Blue whales are bigger, but a blue whale is a filter feeder that strains krill through baleen. The sperm whale has teeth, and it uses them on animals that fight back. A large male reaches around 16 meters and 45 tons. Females are considerably smaller, closer to 11 meters and 14 tons, which is one of the most extreme size gaps between males and females of any whale. Inside that enormous head sits a brain weighing roughly 7.8 kilograms. That is the heaviest brain of any animal we know of, living or extinct, and it is about 5.5 times the mass of yours. Now the teeth are strange. They erupt only in the narrow lower jaw, 20 to 26 on each side, and not until after puberty. Researchers have recovered perfectly healthy adult sperm whales with no functional teeth at all, and those animals were feeding fine. So the teeth are not really the weapon here, which raises an obvious question about what is. When a sperm whale leaves the surface off the Azores or the Gulf of Mexico, it is not going for a swim. Tagging studies that attach recorders directly to the animals found foraging dives, routinely running between 400 and 1,200 meters, with the deepest tag dive on record hitting 1,202 meters. Males feeding off the coast of Norway have been recorded down to 1,860 meters. The whale stays down for around 45 minutes, comes up, breathes for about 9 minutes at the surface, and goes straight back down. It does that all day. That is not a held breath in any sense you would recognize. Your lungs are your oxygen tank. The whale's lungs hold only about 10% of its oxygen supply. The rest is bound up in the blood and packed into the muscle, where a protein called myoglobin sits at roughly 10 times the concentration found in land mammals. The muscle tissue is so saturated with it that it appears almost black. On descent, the lungs collapse under pressure rather than resisting it, which keeps nitrogen from flooding into the bloodstream. The heart rate drops, and blood is shunted from the extremities toward the brain and heart. And here is the part that surprised marine biologists. It does not fully work. A study of 16 sperm whale skeletons spanning 111 years found bone damage in the ribs and jaw consistent with chronic decompression injury, the same tissue death that afflicts human divers who surface too fast. Only calves were unaffected, and severity increased with age. The whale is not immune to the bends. It has spent its entire evolutionary history managing the risk, so it can get down there. Once it arrives, it faces a problem no amount of muscle solves. Below about 200 meters, there is effectively no sunlight, and by 1,000 meters, the darkness is absolute. Eyes are useless, and the sperm whales are small for its body. Everything it does down there has to be done another way. This is where that enormous forehead stops being decoration. Most of the sperm whale's head is not brain. It is a pair of oil-filled structures called the spermaceti organ and the junk, and together they can account for as much as a quarter of the animal's entire body mass. The whale forces air through a set of lips buried in its nasal passages, generating a click. That click bounces backward through the spermaceti organ, reflects off an air sac at the back of the skull, and is funneled forward through the junk in a tight focused beam. The whole front third of the animal is a sound projector, and it is the loudest one in the natural world. Recordings published in the Journal of the Acoustical Society of America measured on axis clicks at up to 236 decibels, reference to 1 micropascal at 1 meter. That is the highest source level ever measured from any living thing. Now you will see that number compared to jet engines and gunshots, and that comparison is wrong. Underwater sound is measured on a completely different reference scale than sound in air. Correcting between them means subtracting somewhere around 62 decibels. So the honest version is that the sperm whale produces the most intense biological sound ever recorded by a wide margin, and you should be suspicious of anyone who tells you it would liquefy you on contact. What that sound actually does is show the whale the world. On the way down, it produces slow, regular clicks, spaced roughly half a second to 2 seconds apart, sweeping the water ahead like a searchlight. Researchers who recorded the returning echoes found the whale picking up organisms at a median range of about 41 meters, and in one case 144 meters. When it locks on, the rhythm collapses. The gaps between clicks compress from seconds to hundredths of a second, producing a sound researchers call a buzz or a creak. And that buzz begins roughly 24 meters from the target. 99.8% of those buzzes occur in the deepest half of the dive, alongside sharp turns and lunges. That is the sound of a capture attempt. A whale makes around 4 of them per dive. If this is the kind of thing you want more of, subscribe. We go this deep on one animal every week. Now at this point, most videos on this animal tell you that the sperm whale stuns its prey with sound, blasting squid unconscious with a sonic weapon. It is a fantastic story. It was seriously proposed back in 1983, and it has been repeated ever since. The problem is that when researchers finally put recording tags on the whales and measured what actually happens in that final approach, they found the opposite. During the buzz, the whale does not increase its output. It cuts it by 1 to 2 orders of magnitude. The sound arriving at the squid is more than 10 times weaker than the level needed to debilitate anything. The whales chase their prey and swallow it. There is no sonic death ray. What is left is arguably more impressive, because it means this animal is navigating and capturing agile prey in absolute darkness on echo alone. Which brings us to what it is actually eating. The popular image is a titan locked in combat with a giant squid, and that image is mostly wrong. Stomach content studies show the diet is overwhelmingly small to medium squid, often slow-moving and gelatinous, eaten in enormous numbers. One stranded male in Cornwall had the remains of well over 200 cephalopods in its stomach. A sperm whale consumes roughly 3 to 3.5% of its body weight every single day. Giant and colossal squid genuinely are on the menu, confirmed by beaks recovered from stomachs, but they are the exception rather than the staple. The scars, though, are real. Older sperm whales carry circles of pale scar tissue across the head and back, and those are genuine marks from squid sucker rings. But they are not evidence of an even contest. They are evidence of prey resisting and generally failing. And a warning worth carrying with you, because you will see this claim everywhere. The diameter of those scars cannot reliably tell you how big the squid was. That misunderstanding is the source of decades of absurd sea monster estimates, which leaves one question. If this animal is capable of all that, has it ever turned on us? Once, famously. On the 20th of November, 1820, the Nantucket whale ship Essex was rammed twice by a large sperm whale in the open Pacific and sank. Of roughly 20 crew, 8 survived. After months adrift in open boats and circumstances the survivors spent the rest of their lives refusing to discuss. First mate Owen Chase published his account, and 30 years later Herman Melville turned it into Moby Dick. A second ship, the Anne Alexander, was sunk the same way in 1851. But look at what those whales were doing. They were being hunted, harpooned, and killed, and they rammed the boats that were doing it. Across an industry that operated for well over a century, you can count the confirmed sinkings on your fingers. Set that against the other side of the ledger. In the 20th century alone, industrial whaling killed more than 760,000 sperm whales. They were the second most hunted large whale on Earth, and the species is still listed as vulnerable today. And here is the reversal that the terrifying framing never survives. There is no verified case of a sperm whale killing a human being, not a diver, not a swimmer. People swim with them off Dominica and the Azores, and what they typically report is an animal that approaches, scans them with a few clicks, works out that they are not food, and loses interest. That is the thing worth sitting with. This animal dives to a depth that would kill you in seconds, hunts in darkness we cannot see through, produces the loudest sound in the natural world, and carries the largest brain that has ever existed. It does all of that in a part of our own planet we have barely visited. And we are, to it, almost entirely irrelevant. We named it a monster because of one shipwreck in 1820. It has spent every year since then completely ignoring us,